Tawkon is a startup based out of Israel. We developed a software, which is an application you can download to a smartphone. Once you download it, with software only, we're able to control your exposure to mobile radiation that your phone itself emits. We run in the background. Once we detect that you surpass a certain level of radiation, you'll get a subtle alert or vibration. You can ignore it, but if you look for a moment at the screen, you'll get an indication about the level of radiation that your phone emits and what some suggestions of how to talk on, as our name implies, and reduce your exposure to mobile radiation. The inspiration started with this, that I was always an avid phone user, and it always intrigued me that on the phone you have reception signals, but there's no transmission signals. And a phone receives signals and emits signals, and it seems that somebody forgot to inform the mobile phone users about the level of signals that the phone is emitting. And the more I kind of read into that and into research in this subject, I found that there is an issue and there is basis for concern. And the other facet of it was that it's an area that there was no solution for that. And in technology, I'm not aware of many areas where there's a real void there. And that really intrigued me to come up with the idea of Tawkon and build a solution that will provide a lot of value to mobile phone users. Okay, so we're three of us. I started the company and I have two co-founding members. One of them is Amit Lubovsky, which has, this is his second company that he's founding. The other one was a chip manufacturer for the LTE, for the 4G generation. He has as well a lot of background with Infineon and Texas Instruments, both technical background and commercial and business development background. And the third co-founder is the whiz kid, Ori Goshen. And he's the guy that knows the bits and bytes from the software level, very familiar with social media like Facebook and Twitter, and really complements us on that front. Some would say my two-word email that I received from Steve Jobs. After trying to apply to the Apple Store and asking personally for him to allow us in, I got a two-word email of no interest. Personally, I don't think that's the most successful one. I think the big success is taking an idea that, you know, from our heads, from initially PowerPoint slides all the way to execution, and having hundreds of thousands of users around the world using our application and providing positive feedback. That's an interesting one. We hope to be an industry standard of mobile phone responsible use. So be a standard of, you know, the way you manage the phone, you benefit from this technology, but also are not exposed to possible harmful effects that the technology brings with it. So we hope to be the industry standard in a few years. I believe the startup journey fulfills a lot of your needs. So it has a lot of facets, a lot of areas that you deal with. So from HR and growing the team, to funding a company, to designing and building a product, to marketing, to regulation aspects that we have. So it's a very intense environment with a lot of areas that you deal with. You're running the show, you're the owner of the business, and I think it's very rewarding. I think there's two main things that, from my experience as an entrepreneur in Israel, need to be improved here. And it's the access to initial capital in the UK, which is much more scarce and difficult to achieve than what I'm facing in Israel, which is not easy as well, but still we have much more access to capital from angel, private investors, venture capital, and what is very important is that in Israel, the chief scientist is investing or lending monies as seed funding for startups, which really helps startups kick off. And this kind of system does not exist in the UK. The other side is education. So promoting technology entrepreneurship within schools, high schools, universities, seeing this as a way of life, not fearing to fail, so taking the risk, and if you succeed, it's great. If not, just go to the next challenge.